We had 4 days of rest at Helmsdale and used this to recover and get a good feeling of this lovely and peaceful Scottish Highland town. Join us for some sights of this jewel. This is a video of my series Adventures with my Trawler Yacht Whitehorse, a Grand Banks 36. First, a short overview of this episode. We got a nice berth in the protected harbour of Helmsdale. Our temporary home was the bridge guest house. The town is small and some houses seem to be very old and partly shabby, but disperse a peaceful and good spirit. All over you find the bright yellow gorse bushes. Helmsdale lies at the sea, but has a ridge behind where beautiful sights await. On the map you will find Helmsdale north of Inverness and the Donnoch Firth. It is part of the county Sutherland. The valley from River Helmsdale, coming from Loch Baddenloch, which is about 30 kilometers inland in northwestern direction, opens to the North Sea. An old stone bridge crosses this river, and on the eastern side you'll find the railway station and the graveyard. Helmsdale was developed 1818 as a fishing village. It was a result of the Highland clearances, when a very large part of the rural inhabitants of the Scottish Highlands and the islands were evicted from their homes by Scottish noblemen. For Helmsdale, it was the clan chief of Sutherland. These clan chiefs moved to London after the riots and wars in the 18th century. Sutherland had helped the English king to win the battle, and later Earl of Sutherland was promoted to Duke. In London, they could enjoy a luxury life of the noble people near the King of England. Unfortunately, they didn't have the money for this, and sold or otherwise handed over the lands to greedy English people who wanted first to breed sheep on the lands and later made them to hunting grounds for English noblemen. People who lived as farmers had suddenly to move to the shores of the North Sea and start a life as herring fishers. Helmsdale was one of these new places. This is probably the reason why Helmsdale Harbour is quite large for this rather small town. The old harbour was a bit up the river, and one can still see some wooden structures of it. As the town and the fishing grew, the new harbour was built. Along the harbour basin there are old houses, mainly painted in vivid colours and nice greens. A larger parking space invites mobile homes to take a rest. Walking along the river, you get to the large stone bridge that leads to the western side, where the railway station, the church and the cemetery are found. It's a nice walk to this green side of the town. Did you like my video so far? Then I would be grateful for you subscribing free of charge to my YouTube channel to help me finance my work. Thank you. There is also a small road and some paths to the hillside of western side Helmsdale. There you will get beautiful views of the seaside, but also of the bright yellow painted hills, home to hundreds of gorse bushes. Just be aware, they have picky thorns, don't try to take some twigs home. You can also find quite some wildflowers in the greens, and it is very relaxing strolling along with these beautiful, peaceful hillsides. Walking down again to the centre of town, there is mainly Dunrobin Street, where you find most of the shops and restaurants. I would like to point out the little coffee shop and restaurant, Thyme and Place, where we really enjoyed good meals and very friendly services. Just on the other side of the street you'll find La Mirage, a good place for seafood and large desserts. And not to forget the local historical museum and its restaurant Timespan, where we not only learned a lot about the local history, but also bought some delicious homemade marmalades and jams. Donald Sutherland is the harbour master of Helmsdale. He's a really good person, very down to earth, very friendly, and there for you when you need help. I really appreciated his assistance when we arrived, but also afterwards, when I needed a new crew member to travel on. The harbour is a prominent feature of Helmsdale, and there are a number of fishing vessels based there, which gives it the sense of working harbour. Many men in town have their private small boats in the harbour too, as fishing out in the coastal waters belongs to this region. Some have a larger number of lobster pots that are set out in this area. But there is also a limited number of berths available for visiting boats. A diesel station lets you fill up your tanks. As the North Sea can be very rough, especially in winter times, large and high stone walls protect the harbour. A considerable tide difference of up to nearly 4 meters causes that a part of the harbour lies dry on low tide, and it is advised to only arrive or depart the harbour 2 hours before or after high tide. Although we were somehow pressed to stay at Helmsdale for some days, we didn't regret it at all. It was very pleasant, and people are extremely kind. I can only recommend to visit this town and hope to do so myself again. In the next episode, the journey goes on, even if only a small distance to Wick. If you liked this episode, please consider to subscribe free of charge to my YouTube channel using your Google Gmail account, and don't forget to press the like button. I hope to soon reach the threshold of 1,000 subscribers to get some payments from YouTube to finance my work on these episodes. Thank you in advance for your support to tackle this endeavor. I'm looking forward to you being my guest on my next episode. Until then, goodbye.